In previous class, we are discussed about demerits of understanding level of teaching. I think all of you clear up to this. All of you? Any doubt? All the participants up to this, all of you clear? Please give the some reaction. All of you up to this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just I am moving the slides for revision. Yes, up to this demerits of understanding level we completed. Now the reflective level. Today we will start from reflective level of teaching. So in previous class I have told that one name, that is Herbert. Herbert name, it is a person name. He proposed the memory level of teaching. His full name is John F. Herbert. His full name is John H. Herbert. And another one is Morrison. Morrison is a proponent of understanding level. His full name is H.C. Morrison. Then this today reflective level of teaching, Hunt. Hunt is a person name. Hunt is the main proponent of this reflective level of teaching. This level is also known as the introspective level of teaching. Means introspective means more insight or more scientific approach towards the teaching or a problem based solving. You are able to solve any problem with scientific background. That is, it is also known as the introspective level of teaching. It also means thinking deeply about something. Reflect means you are able to give something new insight or thought over a period of time for a particular subject or concept. Next, reflective level of teaching is considered as the highest level of teaching, which is carried out, includes both understanding level and memory level of teaching. Without memory level of teaching and understanding level, we can't do or we can't go to the reflective level of teaching. So that is the meaning of this. Then this level is highly thoughtful and useful, as a student can attain this level only after going to the memory level and understanding level. You understood this concept. It is a problem centric approach of teaching. In reflective level, what happens, it is a problem centric approach to teaching. For example, in PhD or any research area, we will go for the problem based approach. For example, in PhD or making any research, we will go to the particular problem. We will find the problem statement, then we will form the research question, and according to that research question, we will do the research to find out the possible solution. That's why in reflective level is useful for problem centric approach. By at this level of teaching, you can find out the number of solution. What are the problems related? Problems means the research areas where we lack, where are the possibilities to improve. Some certain problems or health related issues are not properly issued or not properly solved. In that problems also we will do something with this level of reflective level of teaching. Then teaching as a reflective level enables the student to solve the real problems of life. At this level, student is made to face a problematic situation. Student, by understanding situation and using critical abilities, succeeds in solving the problem. For example, anemia. Anemia in adolescents, adult girls is a major problem in the India. So by our critical thinking, our reflective level of knowledge, we can solve this problem with the certain medicines or protocols by our system, Ayurveda system. So he in this level, the person or learner is able to give the solution of real problem, real life problems. So it is a highest level of teaching. That's why but it needs the both understanding and memory level of teaching. So reflective means something he can reflect based on his knowledge. He is give more insight, and he is more productive in nature. He can solve the problems in the scientific background or scientific method he can use, and he may able to solve the problems. These things only happens in the PhD. In PhD we will select problems like real life problems. What are the burden for community, major public health concern problems? We will take that topics, and we will do the research and for solving that problems. That is the scope of reflective level of teaching. Next, same thing. What I have told at this level. At this level, emphasis is laid on identifying the problem, defining it, and finding a solution. It whatever is problem, we will identify, we will define it, and we will find the solution for that problem. Students' original thinking and creative ability develop at this level. In PhD level, or you are doing any research, your own thinking, what are the possible ways to solve this problem, or what are the possible treatments, medicine, or method of treatment, modalities, or any other related things, you are able to create your thinking, and you can put your own insights in this level. In PhD level, so you are giving solution by your own thinking and your own abilities. So that is not simply cut and paste. You are taking different drug, different condition, different patients, and you are finding the solution. That's why you have a major advantage in this is your thinking ability will be developed at this level. Then role of teacher of this level of teaching is democratic. He does not force knowledge on the student, but develop talents and capabilities. This particular sentence is important. What is the meaning of this is teacher level is democratic, means teacher tells that to student in this level whichever is best. What is the democratic view of teaching? In democratic, we will tell that we will give the option that which one is best for you, you can do that. Practically this happens in the PhD. The guides will tell that which one you find better or best, you can do, or you can select that topic. Like that, teacher is democratic here. He can tell that whichever best you can do. He will give full freedom to select, to do the which one is best. He does not force knowledge on the student. He does not force do this topic, do this type. He will only develops your talents and capabilities. If you find a topic for a PhD thesis or any problem based questions, and you approach the guide, he will only develops, he gives some inputs or ideas, and he is supporting you, but you are the only person whole and sole responsible for your topic or research question, or with you have to solve that PhD things you have to do on your own thinking ability and creative abilities. Only teacher role here is he will supporting, but he is not force knowledge on the student. Actively teacher is not participating here. Whatever thing you will do, the teacher his helps it develop the talents and capabilities. आपका capability आप ये कर सकते हैं सर, मैंने topic लेके ये concept मैं कर सकता हूँ, so आपका capability देख के वो he can support, that's all. But whole and soul it is a learner centric. Learner centric means the student or PhD scholar who is doing research, or the person who is in the state of this reflective level is whole and soul for the his learning and whatever outputs is giving. So learner centric. Here teacher role is it is not a teacher centric. Teacher role is very less. That is the concept behind this reflective level of teaching, because we will go deeper in the subject. In practically speaking, PhD is nothing but the detailed knowledge, detailed insight, scientific method of study to solve the problems, whatever in the real life in our field. It relates with the health. Whatever health related problems are there, we are focusing to find out the problems with our research. The reflective levels usually happens in the higher level of studies. The classroom environment is open and independent. That is in PhD. It is not like that closed classroom. We will do the PhD from one center and the guide will be from another center. It is not like a classical classroom. You have to sit in the class and you have to follow the strict order of teacher. It is not like that. The classroom environment to be open and independent. That is the concept of this reflective level of teaching. Then continue to this reflective level. The learners are active and motivated. Yes, of course, learners are more activated. That's why they are chosen the PhD and they are highly motivated. The purpose to develop reflective power of people so that they can solve problems of their lives by reasoning, logic, imaginations. This is once again the same thing what I have given example for a PhD level. The students occupies the primary place and teacher assumes the secondary place. If you consider the role of teacher and student, here the student is the primary place. Students are learner centric, whatever we call as here. Learner is important. In memory level, teacher is important. In understanding level, both teacher and स्टूडेंट और दोनों इंपॉर्टेंट होता है अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेवल में. रिफ्लेक्टिव लेवल में क्या होता है, स्टूडेंट सामने होता है, टीचर उनका बैक सपोर्टिव. सो इट इज ए प्राइमरी प्लेस इज द फॉर स्टूडेंट, teacher is secondary place. An essay type test is used for the evaluation. Attitudes, beliefs and involvement are also evaluated. That is in this type of level of teaching को evaluation क्या कर सकते हैं, attitude, उनका beliefs, उनका involvement कैसा है study में. So like that we will evaluate. In PhD में क्या है, after completion of PhD आपको एग्जाम नहीं रहता मल्टीपल चॉइस का. ही विल evaluate your involvement in the studies topic, your attitude in the research, and finally your dissertation will be published. So essay type of test we may consider like that. It is evaluation of this level of study. Multiple choice question of evaluation usually we will do in the understanding level. Oral and written will we conduct in the memory level, because this is the highest level of teaching. So here the attitude, beliefs, his involvement are also evaluated with essay type of test. Then merits of reflective level of teaching. The teaching is not teacher centered, subject centered, it is a learner centered. See, it is not teacher centered, not subject centered, it is a learner centered. You can take any subject, any topic in the PhD. It is not specific. That's one in previous class what I have told. It is interdisciplinary one. If I am a scholar of Ayurveda, if I want any science that is related to Ayurveda with modern technology and science, I can take that topic. It is learner centers. What the learner wants, in which subject he want to reflect his thoughts or insights, he may choose. It is a learner center, whole and soul. The learner will, if he has a more interest in the something other fields related to health only, but something other than what we regularly study. So it is whole and soul depend on the learner center. There is an interaction between the teacher and learner at reflective. Interaction होता है, लेकिन primary place is for, without complete not interaction is not there, not like that. But if you consider place, student is the first place and टीचर इज द सेकंड प्लेस. इंटरेक्शन तो करना पड़ता है, क्योंकि गाइड को साथ तो हमने क्या कर रहे क्या नहीं कर रहे, ऐसे कर रहे, उतना तो बोलना पड़ता है, इंटरेक्शन तो होता है. देन टीचिंग इज सुटेबल फॉर हायर क्लासेस. यस, हायर क्लासेस का स्टूडेंट में ये टाइप ऑफ रिफ्लेक्टिव लेवल का टीचिंग होता है. टीचिंग इज हाईली थॉटफुल एंड यूजफुल. Of course, teaching is highly thoughtful because it will give the it will help for the solving the real life problems, and it is more useful. That is the merits of reflective level of teaching. Then demerits of reflective level of teaching. Demerits of reflective level of teaching. Not suitable for small children. Children's में ये नहीं होता है. Demerits for reflective level of teaching. It is suitable only for mentally mature student. Highly mature student can go through this reflective level of teaching. School child में, high school level में ये reflective level work नहीं होता है. At this level, study material is neither organized nor planned in advance, so student cannot acquire systematic and organized knowledge for their studies. Of course, in PhD, there is no or reflective level of study. There is no organized as plan advance. As the study go, as the problems comes, the study subject concept will go deeper and wider. So it is not a planned in advance. The study material. So that is the demerit of this reflective level of teaching. The simple topic may go wider and deeper in PhD, and you can refer the other subject, other concepts also for the understanding of that particular topic or concept. That is the demerit. So demerit in the sense it needs that type of knowledge and highly thinking capacity. That is the demerit. If you don't have that much of capacity, then that is problematic for learners. So that is the demerit of understanding or demerits of this reflective level of teaching. So we will solve one question based on this reflective level. All of you seeing the slide question, assertion and reasoning.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Yes, sir.
My voice is clear, audible. I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The question
Yes,
is
sir.
assertion. The concept is clear. Reflective level of teaching. Any doubt? The question is
Yes, clear, sir.
okay. Clear.
Yes, sir.
The assertion, the role of teacher in reflective level of teaching is democratic. This is the assertion A. Then reasoning, he does not force knowledge on students but develops in their talents and capabilities. Based on these two statements, you will tell me answer which one is the correct answer. You already studied in this slide also that direct question we have taken here. Which option is correct? The role of teacher in reflective level of teaching is democratic. Whether this statement is true or
Option
false.
B, sir.
Which one?
Option B. Option B, sir.
All of you? All of you are agreeing option B? Please interact. कितना मेंबर्स है ग्रुप में टोटल? All of you agree option B? Please reply, or you may give some whatever type of reply. Are you active or simply listening or doing other work? I don't
Yes,
know.
sir. Option B.
Huh? Option B?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Option
see, the role of teacher in reflective level is democratic, because teacher will tell that whichever suits best for you, you will do. He will not enforce. He does not force knowledge on the student, but helps develops in their talents and capabilities. Both A and R are correct, and R is the right explanation of A. This is the right answer. B is the right answer. Next, Which of the following is not a feature of reflective level of teaching? All of you are seeing this slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Option A, it is the highest level of teaching and includes both understanding and memory level of teaching. Morrison is the main proponent of reflective level of teaching. The pupil occupies the primary space and teacher occupies the secondary space. The students are assumed to adopt some sort of research approach to solve the problem. Which one?
Option B, sir.
Option B. All of you.
Option B.
Option B. Morrison is the main proponent of reflective level of teaching. What is the correct sentence? H.C. Morrison is the proponent of which level? Reflective level का proponent कौन है?
Hunt, sir.
Hunt. H.C.
Hunt.
Morrison.
UL.
H.C. Morrison.
Understanding level of teaching.
Understanding level of ULT.
हाँ, yes. Then Herbert, John F. Herbert, proponent of memory level of teaching. You have to remember this name. Sometimes multiple choice question they may ask. Morrison is a proponent. Usually net exams they will ask, or education test they will ask. But better to remember these names. We don't know how type which type of questions will come, but we will following that standard pattern of questioning of other national teacher eligible test. So you have to remember these name also. We don't know, they may ask who is the main proponent of this type of teaching. That is the concept. Then the goal of teaching as compared to training is to provide opportunity of. Option A, promotion of organized ideas as a result of discipline drill. B, sharing and caring leading to critical and creative reflection. Establishing beliefs and values leading to change in attitude. D, associating ideas which are similar and dissimilar. क्वेश्चन का मीनिंग ये है, टीचिंग का गोल क्या है एज कंपेयर टू ट्रेनिंग. वी लर्न दैट टीचिंग ट्रेनिंग इवन दो कम्स फ्रॉम टीचिंग, बोथ आर डिफरेंट. सो मेजर गोल ऑफ टीचिंग क्या है एज कंपेयर टू ट्रेनिंग? ट्रेनिंग और टीचिंग में क्या फर्क होता है इन द गोल में? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. द गोल ऑफ टीचिंग एज कंपेयर टू ट्रेनिंग इज टू प्रोवाइड अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ. The options are like this: A, B, C, D. You will go through the options and you read and you connect. Then only you will find out the correct answer, because this explanation or sentence looks like a same in initially. Just you have to match whether training, what is the training and teaching. Then you are able to solve this question. We have studied that teaching makes the two broader classification. First one is behavior change, and another one is knowledge and belief change. In behavior, we there are two types, that is conditioning and another one is training. And in the beliefs and knowledge changes mein we have studied that is instruction, and another one is
Indoctrination.
indoctrination. And instruction or comes as a change in knowledge, that portion. The behavior comes in the behavior part. The what we training, and other one is
Teaching.
conditioning, and training comes under the change of behavior. So which one will suitable here? Goal of teaching as compared to training. Training को compare किया तो teaching का goal क्या है? I have given hint. ट्रेनिंग कौन सा इस पे आता है? डिसिप्लिन ड्रिल मतलब प्रैक्टिकली करना है, ट्रेनिंग में होता है ये. एस्टैब्लिशिंग बिलीफ्स एंड वैल्यूज, ये तो चेंज ऑफ इन एटीट्यूड, change of attitude. Beliefs and values leading to change in the attitude. Beliefs and values आपको ज्यादा किधर से होता है? Indoctrination में होता है. Associating ideas which are similar and dissimilar. This is also not Goal of teaching. The correct one is sharing and caring leading to critical and creative reflection. So option is B. So somewhat confusion will happen, but if you read again and again, then only you are able to solve this type question. There is thin difference between training and these option sentence will also we will not understand easily. Initially it looks like same, but as you practice, as you repeat, the correct answer you have to choose and you will mark the goal of teaching. You will go through the previous slide and you will see and you repeat, then you will find the answer. Sharing and caring leads to the critical and creative reflection. Got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In first class I have given some work for you. All of you gone through user manual? Anyone seen the user manual? We also shared in the group. Anyone seen the user manual? No one? Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
User manual is visible. I have clicked that link.
No, sir.
No. Hmm.
Hello, sir.
Oh, sir.
Sir, user manual you have to share again because single window is shared, I think.
Okay. Okay. I will stop and share. I think, or I will change the window.
Yes, sir.
Now all of you are able to see this.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is the user manual for second professional BAMS curriculum. What we learned about this understanding level, memory level, and the main one, the Bloom's taxonomy, cognitive level, affective level, psychomotor level. So all are practically applicable here. These NCISM is also given the same thing. If you go to the user manual, mm, are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Course learning outcomes. Course learning outcomes is a detailed description of what student must able to do at the completion of course or CO in short form. Course learning outcomes, they mentioned CO helps the learner to understand the reason for pursuing the course. The learner can visualize the learning. It may be knowledge, skill, or attitude end of the course. Are you able to understand what they have mentioned? What we learn, knowledge, knowledge, cognitive level, skill, or attitude, psychomotor level, and attitude at the end of the course. One of the domain that will the outcome should affect. C3, the column C3 affect the domain. This column, are you able? I am marking with cursor. C3 domain.
Yes, sir.
C3 indicates domain of learning. The Benjamin Bloom has identified 3 domains of educational activities. The 3 domains are cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. Cognitive for mental skills or knowledge. So mental skills को knowledge बोलते हैं हम. Skills you have to remember. Motor skills means that is psychomotor one. Physical skill. Mental skill बोले तो knowledge that comes under the cognitive. And psychomotor is for manual or physical skill, while affective is for growth in the feelings and emotional areas. All of you remember the affective domain is with feeling, emotion, whatever things, attitude that comes under this affective domain. They are also indicated by KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude. In the syllabus, they will mention KSA, knowledge, as skills, and attitude. In knowledge, if they mention, you have to remember cognitive domain, skills, psychomotor domain, attitude means affective domain. All activities related to teaching and learning are aligned to this domain of learning. कुछ भी टीचिंग लर्निंग करो, these three domain के साथ अलाइन होता है, वो इसका मीनिंग है. Then they have described cognitive domain. In cognitive domain, knowledge and intellectual skill का बारे में. This level involves the fundamental understanding of fact, concept, information. It includes the recalling of specific details, definitions, essential terms. Actually, if you read this manual, you will practically understand what theoretically we learn, how we will apply that knowledge in our curriculum or our syllabus. You will understand exact pinpoint explanation is given here. If you understand what is cognitive level, what is affective level, and psychomotor level, this is the concept. You go through this detailed description. I am not going to. Based on our class, you are able to. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, self mail to go. Previous one.
This one, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I would like to add something here.
Yes.
For example, see, cognitive, it is mental skills. That means the knowledge that you have about the medicine or about anything. Because you are going to become a teacher, you should have the knowledge of your own subject. Then psychomotor, I will take an example of an intern. After completion of 4.5 years of study, the intern is well equipped with knowledge. That is knowledge related to medicinal field. Then psychomotor, there he is going to learn about how to examine the patient. Clinical methods he will be learning. He will be, because he has learned it in past 4.5 years, yet here he is trying to improve his skills to examine the patient. That is psychomotor. Then after that, when you have the knowledge, when you have how to evaluate, when you know how to evaluate the patient, how to examine the patient, how to make a clinical diagnosis, all these things you know. But the third thing is your attitude towards patient. If you're not able to feel the pain of the patient, and if you're not able to respond the patient with compassion, then it is lack of this third attribute, that is affective skills. Like this, we can understand these three components. The same things we should teach the students. That is, the student should possess the knowledge. He should also have the practical knowledge of performing based on what he has learned. And third thing is his willingness, what he feels towards the patient. If there is no this human touch, then the knowledge and skills are of no use. So like that they have explained. And sir, next paper.
Okay.
Next page. Here in the cognitive, again, they have given all the 5 things. See, cognitive, first thing is knowledge, then comprehension. You have learned something. Are you able to understand it or not? And then application. Are you able to apply it into the practice or not? Then analysis, based on practice, what you are doing, what you are feeling, what you are able to perceive from your own practice, your own involvement into the studies. You should analyze it, then you should synthesize it again, whether it is right or wrong, whether I am doing it right or not, or it is explained right in the right way or not. All these things we should evaluate. Then if we feel that it is right, then we will continue. If we feel it is not right, then we will evolve there. We will evaluate it and we will modify it. Then again we will learn. So like this, 5 different stages of cognitive domain are also explained here. Sir, anything from your side?
Yes, what we learned, that is, hello.
Yes, sir. Anything from your side?
It comes in the sequence manner: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. What we learned in the cognitive domain, the same thing they have applied in our with aligning with our curriculum or subject. We generally study that knowledge comprehension, but here they are specifically mentioned what is the knowledge, what should be the comprehension, what is the application, what is the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Because this is a broader one we are applying. The same thing goes. So that's why I have told that you have go through the this manual, then you will understand more practically with relating to our uh, curriculum. So see in the, for example, application, cognitive application. This level focuses on using learned knowledge to solve practical problems or perform specific tasks. It involves applying principles, concepts, method in real world scenario, demonstrating ability of transfer of theoretical understanding into the practical use. For example, you learn the Prakriti, the individual type of Prakriti in the theory. In real life, we will tell that based on Prakriti, based on dosha, we will treat. In real life, in demonstrating, the student should able to apply that theoretical things on the patient. He should recognize which Prakriti patient is there, which type of dosha involved. Then he will do the treatment or any thing to that person. So application level, from theory to application level, he may go. But directly he may not go to the application. Before that, he have knowledge, then he must comprehend what is that. In this level, what we will do, rephrase in their own words, interpretation. They demonstrate understanding by explaining concept, summarizing. After the comprehension only, he will go to the application. In comprehension, they given the sentence like translating complex idea into simpler terms. थ्योरी में बोलने में अलग होता है दोष. एक्चुअली प्रैक्टिकल में आप क्या दिखते पेशेंट में, दैट वन वी कॉल्ड एज ए प्रकृति का साइंस, ये सिम्टम्स है, गुण है. ऐसे हम कॉम्प्लेक्स आइडिया इनटू सिंपलर टर्म्स में कॉम्प्रीहेंड करना है, देन ओनली इन प्रैक्टिकल एप्लीकेशन में ला सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल रुक्षता, स्निग्धता, these are theoretical things. But actually, snigdhata, how snigdhata will looks in patients or persons, how rukshata will, what actually we see to define this is snigdhata, rukshata, like that. The comprehension will you will do after the knowledge. Comprehension will happen after only you will apply in the patient. That is the it in sequential order: knowledge, comprehension, application. What sir had told, the all the cognitive level you are able to the learning teaching learning method should almost all level that will affect. Affective level is also, affective domain is also important, because we are doctors, we are treating the humans. So our emotions, feeling, what the patient pain is there, what is his mental status, what are these emotions, all things you should also know with other domains also. That is the importance. But if you go through this user manual, you will clear with the concept. That is what Bloom's taxonomy, the domains related concept, you will clear. And based on this only, they have given the different topic. They will expect this domain will outcome of this particular topic. That is the for this user manual. You can go through this one. What is the psychomotor includes perception, whatever we done, that done in the class, that same thing, but you will understand more easily and better way. So affective responding, value, these all things are explained in the domain. Teaching learning methods we will come on the next later on classes, then we will discuss about this teaching learning methods. Now we study domains, regarding domains, then this part is related with us, then you go through this part of the user manual. So I will show example in our syllabus based on this. I will close this one. um, Now, are you able to see the syllabus of Swastarutta and Yoga?
Yes, sir.
So we will see that domain related concept, how they have applied here. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, for example, this learning objective at the end of the session, the students should able to do. First one, define Swastarutta and describe its objectives. Which domain they have given? CK. CK means cognitive knowledge. By teaching this definition of Swastarutta and describing its subject, the outcome is cognitive knowledge. It will affect or it will give the addition to the knowledge CK. Then describe and compare Swastha Lakshana, Arogya Lakshana, Dhatu Samya Lakshana, describe concept of health, operational definition of health. They have given CC. What is the CC? Comprehension.
Cognitive.
Cognitive comprehension means Swastha Lakshana. Actually, what is Swastha Lakshanas? The student must able to comprehend real life also. What are Swastha Lakshanas? What we tell in the define Swastarutta and objectives, that only gives the knowledge level of cognitive. But these concepts, if you teach, the outcome should be knowledge comprehensive. Different concept, they describe concept of health, operational health of this. The comprehension should be there with this subject. That is the they are accepting that these after these teaching the student particular domain affected or outcome should be this domain, that is uh, uh, knowledge comprehension, CC, what they have given. Then other examples, see here, CAP, are you CAN is there. Describe and compare the dravyas, benefits and application of Udvartana, Udgarshana and Utsadana. Which domain they have given? CAN. What is CAN? What is CAN full form, sir? Cognitive, affective. CAN means what? They have given in user manual this one also. Sir, are you have user manual, Rohit sir? Hello?
Hello, sir. 1 second.
They have given lot of short terms, so that's why we should know they have also given the what are the short time. Directly we don't sometimes we don't know suddenly what the, so that's why you have go through the user manual from now only, because the lot of short terms they have given. If you don't know the how to use user manual, it is difficult. So, see other types: CAN, CE, CK, CK, CAP, CK, CAN, CAP, CC, CAP, CC, CK, CC. Like this, they have given the domain or subdomain. They have given subdomain also there. 5 types of subdomain. What we learn cognitive comprehension, that one they have given. I think. Last page. Please wait. I am searching. short term. It will be there in last part of the syllabus only. See, they have given short term, short terms. What we have seen, CAN. See here, CK means cognitive knowledge, CC means cognitive comprehension, CAP means cognitive and application. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? अगर कोई सब्जेक्ट के सामने CAP लिखा है, इसका मीनिंग क्या है? कॉग्निटिव एप्लीकेशन लेवल में होना चाहिए, दैट कॉन्सेप्ट. देन CAN मीन्स कॉग्निटिव एंड एनालिसिस. सो सी एनालिसिस, they have given the short term. CAN means cognitive analysis. Just now we have seen CAN. What is CAN? So in short form, that's why our mind also unable to suddenly recall the analysis word. So that's why it is very important to see the analysis, because our whole syllabus is, they have done like a coded form. Very number of codes or number of short form they have added. So that's why you first of all, we don't know the exact concept, what is cognitive, what is domain. Then that thing they have made in the short form. Then they have given in the syllabus. The person who don't know the what is the domain, what is the concept, how he will able to understand these short forms. Simply he will learn as a regular mode of teaching. That's why they have implied this type of syllabus. They have modified syllabus. They have particular objects or outcome should be happen in this particular concept. CAN, if in front of that topic they have written CAN, that is cognitive analysis. The outcome should be analysis. The student must able to do the analysis level. You have to teach that concept in the analysis level. Go to the analysis level. Then cognitive synthesis, CS, the short form. CE means evolution level. So like that, they have given short form. समझ में आ गया अभी ये क्या है? CAN, CE, short forms. These are nothing but related to domain only. You have to keep in mind that this particular topic should be teach with outcome as a particular domain or particular subdomain. What they have, subdomain means these are knowledge, comprehensive, application, analysis and evaluation are called subdomain. Nothing but these 5 are called as subdomain. The domain means these main domains: psychomotor, affective domain, and knowledge domain are domain. Subdomain means these 5 are called as subdomains. See, this describe the assessment of Ardha Shakti Lakshana of Vyayama and the consequence of Ati Vyayamas. This comes under the CE, means cognitive evaluation. In practical life also, we should evaluate whether this person doing Vyayama, it is according to Ardha Shakti, whether he is doing or not doing. The final level they have given is evaluation level. not knowledge level. Everyone have knowledge. Ardha Shakti Nishevatsu Balibi Snigdha. This is not enough. You have to teach practically. He should evaluate the person who is doing Vyayama. That is the outcome in this teaching this one. Then this explain the importance of benefits of Anulefana CK. So like that, CAP means describe and merits demerits of present day application like face powder, face pack, balm, lotion, lipstick, deodorants, and perfumes. If you teach this thing, the student should apply this concept in the day-to-day practice. So that is the concept CAP. Knowledge application based domain should be outcome of this type of topic. That's why they have divided and given this domain part. Are you able to understand what we discussed this about this user manual and syllabus? All of you? Why we are we are showing this syllabus and user manual? What is the application? What is exactly they have mentioned in the syllabus is this one. The outcome should be according to this domain only. All of you are understand? Any doubt, any confusion? Please reply. Please reply. Hello, are you able to hear?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ गए सिलेबस दिखा के मैंने क्या दिखाया CC CAP these are nothing but what we have studied this Bloom taxonomy domains. They have given particular topic and which outcome should be there. Domains means this psychomotor, this affective domain and cognitive domain. They have given this column domain or subdomain. Subdomains are nothing but that 5 steps: knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and evaluation. That is the subdomains. Within the domain, these 5 are there. They will happen in the serial in the consecutive or serial manner. They are even they are given domain and their subdomain. The outcome should be what will happen in this particular domain, or outcome should be there in this level. That is the concept of giving this syllabus. समझ में आ गया आपको? सिलेबस में आपका हर एक सब्जेक्ट में ये रहता है फर्स्ट कॉलम, domain or subdomain. For example, here I am Swastarutta person, so I have taken this syllabus. So concerned subject syllabus, they have particular topic and learning outcome as a particular domain. Then for further next columns D3, that is must know or no, we will learn or talk about in later classes. That is the different level. So are you able to understand this? What is domain? What is the practical application? What we have studied in this class? All of you are able to understand? Please reply. We will go to the next concept. Already it is it. This completes this domains and everything. Now next onwards we will go to the learner characters. Up to this, if you all are clear, I will go to the next concept.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Huh?
sir.
Okay. I will close this. Are you able to see this slide? New topic.
Yes, sir.
The first slide is characteristic of learners. Now from teaching we are shifting to learning. In the teaching process, what are the 4 things we require? Anyone repeat? Teaching, learning. Another one is?
Mm,
4 things we
variables.
huh?
Variables.
Other variables. Another thing, 4 things we needed.
Curriculum.
Teaching, learning, curriculum, and other variables. So teaching, regarding teaching we discussed. Now the learners, we will see in detail about learners, learning. So that is the concept. So what is the concept of learners? or characteristic of in the concept of learning, we will see the characteristic of learners. Before that we will see the learning. What is learning? लर्निंग क्या है? टीचिंग के बारे में हमने स्टडी किया है, अभी लर्निंग के बारे में थोड़ा सोचेंगे. व्हाट इज लर्निंग? लर्निंग इज ए नेचुरल प्रोसेस ऑफ ग्रोथ और चेंज इन ए पर्सन which is modified as a new mode or pattern of a behavior. It is a relatively permanent change in behavior and is the result of reinforced practice through the process of stimulus and response. हम ये डेफिनेशन को थोड़ा डिवाइड कर करके स्टडी करेंगे, तभी आपको समझ में आएगा. तो लर्निंग इज ए नेचुरल प्रोसेस. व्हाट इज नेचुरल प्रोसेस? नेचुरली लर्निंग विल हैपन्स, whether knowing, unknowing, direct or indirect. We will learn something day to day life. Every time we will learn. That is natural process of growth and change in a person. Naturally, this process of growth and change in a person, which is a manifested as a new mode or pattern of behavior. हमने चाइल्ड में कैसे बिहेव करता था, वो एडोलेसेंट में अलग होता है हमारा बिहेवियर, अडल्ट एज में अलग होता है हमारा बिहेवियर. वी लर्न समथिंग, चेंज ऑफ आवर बिहेवियर और पैटर्न in the process of growth by naturally. I am telling in broad way, broad spectrum. I am giving example. I am आपको समझा रहा हूँ what is learning. You will apply this concept in the all the way. Just for example, I am taking the just for understanding. I am taking this example. Naturally, a child से behavior change होता है, adolescent to adult. That is natural process of growth and change in a person, which is manifested as a new mode or pattern of behavior. It is a relatively permanent change in behavior and is the result of reinforced practice through the process of stimulus and response. मैंने मेरा बिहेवियर का बारे में एग्जांपल दिया. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप कुछ सब्जेक्ट और कॉन्सेप्ट का बारे में भी एग्जांपल लिए, तो as a process you will understand the concept in the new mode of pattern. For example, अगर आप दोषों का बारे में फर्स्ट ईयर में बीएमएस में आपका क्या अंडरस्टैंडिंग रहता है, वो एज ग्रोन ऑफ टाइम और आपका उसका मोड और एक्शन, उसका नॉलेज में थोड़ा चेंजेस उसका पता चलता है. दैट इज द लर्निंग, न्यू मोड और पैटर्न ऑफ बिहेवियर, एंड इट इज ए रिलेटिवली परमानेंट चेंज इन बिहेवियर. रिलेटिवली परमानेंट बिकॉज relative term, it is nothing but almost permanent change, but not a complete change. Relative permanent, they have used the relative permanent change in the behavior and is a result of reinforced practice through process of stimulus and response. For example, I will give stimulus and for that stimulus the response will happen. That is learning. Different times, different types of stimulus we will give, then the response will happen. That is the practice of result of this reinforced practice through process of stimulus, response, stimulus and response. In learning, what is the process actually? That is stimulus and response only. What is the stimulus? Stimulus may be object, person, event or anything that may lead the to learn or change our behavior or increase or change in our attitude, knowledge, whatever may be that thing. If response happens, then that thing we call as a stimulus. For example, in example, childhood to adolescent, our behavior change. What is the stimulus there? The adolescent age is stimulus. The behavior in the adult is change. What is the stimulus there? The adult age is stimulus in that. If I am seeing anyone reading the newspaper, I will also start reading the newspaper. That is the stimulus. Stimulus for me. Stimulus means you have to take in the broader sense, not a narrow meaning. Stimulus may be everything, your success, failure, or anything that will lead to the response, and you will change your behavior or something mode of pattern of behavior. That is called as learning. आप सबको समझ में आ गए कि लर्निंग क्या है? All of you, it is a natural process. Because of this learning, permanent change होता है. Relative term is important. Relatively permanent change in the behavior, and it is a result of reinforced practice through process of stimulus and response. Stimulus and response. Teacher पढ़ाई करो बोल बार बार बोलता है. That is the stimulus. That for that stimulus you will learn or read something, that is the response. So stimulus and response is very important in learning. It is a natural process. Because of this, the pattern of behavior or mode of new thinking or whatever will changes, that is relatively permanent. Once you learn, that is for relatively permanent. That is the concept of this learning, or learning ka definition, or what is learning we will understand by this definition. समझ में आ गए? Any doubt? This is a broader aspect of learning, what actually learning, not for only for this education purpose or nothing. Whatever learning you in your life is happening, that all thing we will consider and giving this learning definition. Learning is a natural process of growth and change in a person. Or growth and changes aate hain, this is natural process, nothing but the change in the behavior, and something we will that change is relatively permanent change in the behavior, and आपको behavior or change permanent नहीं हो रहा है, that is not a learning. If you see the anything helping the older ones, old age persons, if you see, that is the stimulus, and if you respond only one time, that is not a permanent change. Every time if you see the older person, you should help them, that is the permanent change. Then only it will call as a learning, otherwise it will not, we will not call it as a learning. That is the meaning of relatively permanent change. Once if you learn, that comes to the permanent change. Every time if you see the old persons, you will help them, that is the relatively permanent change in your behavior, not once or twice. This is the practical problem. We will learn only once. Helping the poor we will do in the one time, or whatever behavior changes, that should be in a permanent behavior. Every time for that stimuli, we will respond in the same way, helping the older ones. That is, if we don't doing that thing repeatedly, or every time, the if older person is stimulus for this example, if you don't help every time, if you ignore, if you then that is not a relatively permanent change, that is not learning. Stimulus and response should be in the continuous manner, and that will learning will lead to the permanent change in the behavior. So any doubt? इस पे कुछ डाउट है कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लर्निंग में? ऑल ऑफ यू? प्लीज रिप्लाई यस और नो, कुछ तो आप रिप्लाई करो, अदरवाइज आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड वेदर आपको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. जस्ट फॉर वन रिप्लाई इट विल क्लियर्स whether you are and active participation is there. It is not one way. If you give response, that is also a stimulus for me. I will give more response, because learning teaching learning are going hand by hand here. So give, please give response. I will go to the next slide. The elements of learning. So main components of learning are as follows. Learner चाहिए, लर्निंग का एलिमेंट्स में लर्नर, सीखने वाला नहीं चाहिए तो लर्निंग नहीं होता है. सो लर्नर चाहिए, स्टिमुलस चाहिए, द इंटरनल कंडीशन ऑफ द लर्नर, रेस्पॉन्स. These four elements are needed in the learning. I will give the example of this online class only, then you will understand. लर्नर आप लोग लर्नर है फॉर दिस एनटीईटी ऑनलाइन क्लास. आप लर्नर है बोल के मैं क्लास कर रहा हूं, दैट इज द लर्नर हो गया. देन स्टिमुलस, व्हाट इज द स्टिमुलस? स्टिमुलस क्या है? आपको एक कोर्स को एनरोल होने के लिए आपको एनटीईटी एग्जाम देना पड़ता है टीचर बोल के ज्वाइन होने के लिए, दैट इज द स्टिमुलस. स्टिमुलस इज द इंटरनल कंडीशन ऑफ द लर्नर. इंटरनल कंडीशन मतलब आप कितना तैयार है, आपको ऑलरेडी पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन एग्जाम हुआ है, आप फ्री हो चुका है एग्जाम से, आपको लगता है अभी तक स्टडी हो गया, बस पढ़ाई करना, ऐसा फील से आप बाहर आके भी एक कोर्स को एनरोल किया. दैट इज द इंटरनल कंडीशन ऑफ ए लर्नर. इंटरनल कंडीशन ऑफ ए लर्नर को डिपेंड होता है लर्निंग. अदर पीपल आर आल्सो सीन दिस एडवर्टाइजमेंट, कोर्स का एडवर्टाइजमेंट देखा है, दे हैव हर्ड, बट दे हैव नॉट थिंक दैट देखेंगे क्या होता है पता नहीं. दिस इंटरनल कंडीशंस इज आल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द लर्नर. हाउ मच डेडिकेट, हाउ मच इंपॉर्टेंट यू गिव, or how you will think, that is internal condition of learner is also important for the learning. Stimulus होता है, अगर आपका मन पे क्या है, नहीं ये नया है एनटीईटी का कुछ, तो इसको कैसे भी करके हमको क्रैक करना है, whatever mode of option, whatever resource available, what are the classes, knowledge available, I have to learn and I have to crack. This is the internal condition of the learner. That should be there, then only learning will happen. Then response. After that, the response kya hoga? You are joined the class and you are now learning something related to this national teacher eligibility test. So these are the elements of the learning. Without these elements, the learning will not happen. These are the main components. समझ में आ गया क्या है? Learner, stimulus, the internal condition of the learner, response. Another example, for example, अगर आपने मेडिकल कोर्स को ज्वाइन हुआ, लर्नर्स चाहिए, स्टिमुलस, व्हाट इज द स्टिमुलस फॉर ज्वाइनिंग द मेडिकल कोर्स? वो उनका भाई को, उनका फ्रेंड्स को और इनका पेरेंट्स कुछ तो कुछ स्टिमुलस करते हैं, हर और हिज ओन इंटरेस्ट टू बिकम ए डॉक्टर, दैट इज द स्टिमुलस. देन द इंटरनल कंडीशन ऑफ द लर्नर. आप इंटरनली आप थिंक करते हैं, मैं तो मेडिकल कोर्स को ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ, वेदर एमबीबीएस, बीएमएस, व्हाटएवर, आई वांट टू बिकम डॉक्टर, whether I am fit, I really want this course, I really want this profession. These internal conditions of the learner is also important. He thinks himself or herself, internal condition, really मैं ये profession choose किया तो मैं कर सकता हूँ better. These are the internal conditions of the learner. Then ultimately response. Without response आपको something everything is there. If response not happen, then that is not learning. That is the response is also there. So elements of learning: learner, stimulus, the internal condition of the learner, response are the elements of the these learning, main components of the learning. Clear? Up what are the learner, stimulus, internal condition and response? क्या है? समझ में आ गया आप लोगों को?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I am giving stimulus, you should response. Then only my stimulus is stimulus. If you are not giving response, it will not consider as a stimulus, because stimulus always have response. If it is not able to generate response, then we should not call it as a stimulus. That is the concept. समझ में आ गया आपको? Not for you are not giving answer for that purpose. I am not telling. Actually, the concept is that the stimulus, when we call a stimulus, it is able to generate the response. Then only we will call the stimulus. मैंने अदर काम भी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अदर प्रोफेशन भी, इंजीनियरिंग भी देखा था, वो भी स्टिमुलस है, लेकिन आई हैव नॉट जॉइन द इंजीनियरिंग, बट दैट इज नॉट स्टिमुलस फॉर मी, बिकॉज आई एम इंटरेस्टेड, माई स्टिमुलाई रेस्पॉन्स आर टू द मेडिकल फील्ड. ऐसा देखने लगे तो लॉट ऑफ स्टिमुलस आर देयर, बट रिस्पॉन्स इन विच स्टिमुलस रेस्पॉन्स विल हैपन, दैट इज द रियल स्टिमुलस. सब थिंग को हमने स्टिमुलस नहीं करते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कोई आपको उपदेश किया, अगर दैट इज नॉट बिकम स्टिमुलस. इफ आप उनका उपदेश और उनका ओपिनियन सुन के आप प्रैक्टिकली उसको अप्लाई रेस्पॉन्स किया, तो दैट विल कॉल एज ए स्टिमुलस. अदरवाइज इट इज नॉट ए स्टिमुलस. स्टिमुलस ऑलवेज गिव्स द response. That is the concept. Well, we will go to the next class. Next slide. Then characteristic of learning. What are the characteristic of learning? It involves the change. चेंज तो होता है लर्निंग करने के बाद आपको, नॉलेज, बिहेवियर, इट इन्वॉल्व्स द चेंज. स्टैटिक तो नहीं है लर्निंग में. कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ लर्निंग क्या है? इट इन्वॉल्व्स द चेंज. Learning involves the activities. Without activity, without work, learning will not happen. That is the characteristic of learning. Then it requires interaction. Interaction चाहिए टीचर स्टूडेंट के साथ, और one person to other person, or mature person to immature person, or senior to junior, or two persons, two things, whatever there, without interaction learning नहीं होता है. Characteristic of learning. Which type of interaction we will not see, but interaction होना चाहिए. That is the characteristic of learning. It requires the interaction. It is a lifelong process. Like teaching, learning also lifelong process. It is lifelong process. Lifelong we will learn something. That is the lifelong process. It occurs randomly throughout the life. हमारा लाइफ में रैंडमली कोई ना कोई तरीके से हम वी आर लर्निंग समथिंग. कैसे बिहेव करना है, अदर प्लेसेस में गए तो लैंग्वेज लर्न कर रहे हैं, उनका कल्चर लर्न कर रहे हैं, उनका सोशल बिहेवियर लर्न कर रहे हैं. नया नया रूल्स लर्न करें रैंडमली, कुछ तो कुछ कॉन्शियसली और अनकॉन्शियसली वी आर लर्निंग. That's why learning occurs randomly throughout life. It involves problem solving. लर्न करने के बाद क्या होते हैं, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे डेली कॉलेज टू घर अप एंड डाउन करना है, अगर मुझे ड्राइविंग नहीं आता है, अगर ड्राइविंग मैंने सीख लिया, देन इट इज ए प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, मेरा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होता है. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. इट इन्वॉल्व्स प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. लर्निंग ऑलवेज प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. लर्न होने के बाद आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या रहता है वो सॉल्व होता है. दैट इज द दिस सेंटेंस. इट इन्वॉल्व्स द प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. इट इज ए प्रोसेस ऑफ अक्वायरिंग इंफॉर्मेशन. यस, इंफॉर्मेशन तो मिलता है, लर्न कर रहे कोई ना कोई इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है. हाउ टू डू दिस थिंग, व्हाट इज दैट, इंफॉर्मेशन मिलता है. दैट इज लर्निंग. अगर हमने पोर्टल में कैसे अपडेट करना है, गूगल मीट को कैसे ज्वाइन होना है, रिकॉर्डिंग का, वी आर लर्निंग. इंफॉर्मेशन मिल रहा है हमको. दैट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ acquiring information. Information is not specific for subject only. Acquiring information, what you learn related to that thing, you are acquiring information. It involves the more than thinking. मोर देन थिंकिंग मतलब है बियॉन्ड द थिंकिंग लर्निंग विल गो. जस्ट थिंक करके लर्निंग नहीं होता है. यू हैव टू गो मोर देन द थिंकिंग. फॉर एग्जांपल आपने मैंने एनटीईटी का एक क्लास लिया, जस्ट थिंक करके नहीं छोड़े आप लोग फर्दर बियॉन्ड द थिंकिंग. थिंक किया, नेक्स्ट ज्वाइन किया, अभी लर्न कर रहे हैं. इट गोज बियॉन्ड द थिंकिंग. Today I will read this chapter or this subject. We will think. But if you think and kept, that is not learning characteristic of. You go beyond the thinking. Think किया आज chapter पढ़ना है, then you will really study that chapter. Then it goes or it involve for more than thinking. Thinking level तक नहीं है, more than it goes beyond the thinking. That is the characteristic of learning. Then different theories of learning are there. Different scholars have given the different type of theory. Like teaching में कैसे theories था, वैसे learning theories भी different लोगों ने दिया है. And now we will go to the learning theories. सबको समझ में आ रहा है, बोर हो रहे हैं, क्या लग रहा है? मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. All of you are understanding or you are feeling bored? Hello? All of you give the thumb. थंब का एक और स्माइली कुछ तो रेस्पॉन्स करिए सब लोग. Participants, are you able to hear my? I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now we will go for theory of learning. Hello. अर्जेंट है ना, हाफ एन आवर बिट ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. तो theories of learning, classical condition theory and another operational condition theory बोल के आते हैं theories of learning में. कंडीशनिंग, ये वर्ड आप लोग सुना है टीचिंग में. कंडीशनिंग, व्हाट इज द कंडीशनिंग? टीचिंग में आप लोग स्टडी किया ना कंडीशनिंग बोल के. पर्टिकुलर बिहेवियर विथ दैट कंडीशन. टीचिंग होने के बाद अगर घर में कोई मेहमान आते हैं, बड़े लोग आते हैं, वी विल स्टैंड अप. दैट टाइप ऑफ कंडीशनिंग वी आर लर्न इन द टीचिंग. So like that, theories of learning also, they have given two types of theories are there. Classical conditioning theory. What is the classical conditioning theory? Classical conditioning is a type of conditioning in which an individual responds to stimulus that would not ordinarily generate a such response. Classical conditioning is a learning through association, and this was discovered by Pavlov, a Russian physiologist. In a simple terms, two stimuli are linked together to produce a new learned response in a person or animal. So what is this thing? We studied that stimulus and response are important in the learning. Generally क्या रहते हैं, particular stimulus will not generate the particular response. But if you associate that stimulus with another stimulus or another condition, then that is also able to generate a response. That is the classical conditioning theory. Classical condition is a learning through association, and this is discovered by Pavlov. He is a physiologist. Two stimuli are linked together to produce a new learned response in a personal animal. You will understand by seeing the image. Next slide. All of you are able to see this slide, this image?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, प्लीज आप सुनो, ध्यान से सुनो, ये थोड़ा आपको इम्पोर्टेंट है. बिफोर कंडीशनिंग, एक डॉग है, उसके सामने खाना है, फूड है उसका सामने. देख रहे हैं सब लोग? फर्स्ट पिक्चर में क्या है? डॉग है, उसका सामने फूड है. बाय सीइंग द फूड, डॉग इज सलाइवेटिंग. फूड देखे तो डॉग को तो सलाइवा सिक्रेशन हो रहा है, उसको खाना खाने का मन आ रहा है. दैट इज द अनकंडीशन. उसमें कुछ कंडीशन रिस्पॉन्स तो नहीं है, मतलब खाना खाए तो सलाइवेट करते हैं. ये तो नॉर्मल स्टिमुला एंड रिस्पॉन्स है डॉग के लिए. अनदर पिक्चर विजुअल है, एक विजुअल दैट इज not response, that is in the sense of salivation. अगर डॉग के सामने विजुअल किया तो सलाइवा तो सीक्रेट नहीं होता है डॉग को. बट इधर ये साइंटिस्ट ने क्या किया, एवरी टाइम फूड, कब फूड देता है डॉग को, उस टाइम विजुअल करने लगा. हर टाइम फूड एंड विजुअल दोनों स्टिमुलाई डन टुगेदर. हर टाइम खाना भी लाने के टाइम विजुअल करते खाना दे रहे. दैट दे हैव एसोसिएटेड दिस टू स्टिमुलाई. फूड के लिए तो रिस्पॉन्स होता है डॉग को, लेकिन विजुअल और बेल के लिए तो नई स्टिमुलस होता है. बट व्हेन द साइंटिस्ट ब्रिंग दी स्टिमुलाई टुगेदर, फूड के साथ विजुअल करते करते उसको फूड लाने गए तो क्या होगा, डॉग का माइंड में क्या हुआ, वो विजुअल को भी सलाइवेट करने लगा, बिकॉज दे हैव एसोसिएटेड विथ दैट विथ फूड. दोनों थोड़ी दिन के लिए क्या किया वो लोग, विजुअल करते करते फूड को देने लगा. देन डॉग इज स्टार्टेड salivating. After some times what happened, they remove the food, then only they started whistling. Then also the dog is starting salivating. उसका मन में क्या आ गया, अभी विजुअल कर रहे तो फूड भी आता है, क्योंकि उसको बार बार दिखाया था विजुअल करते खाना देना उसको फूड. देन इवन इफ यू रिमूव द फूड बाय विजुअल साउंड, द डॉग इज सलाइवेटिंग नाउ. बिफोर, इससे पहले क्या होता था, विजुअल के लिए डॉग सलाइवेट नहीं करता था, लेकिन व्हेन वी कंडीशनड और एसोसिएटेड टू स्टिमुलाइज फूड एंड विजुअल, इवन आफ्टर सम डेज the food is not there, if you are simply visual, the dog is started to salivating. Dog का मन में क्या है, अभी visual आ रहा है तो food भी आता है. That is the concept. That is the conditioning, classical conditioning theory. समझ में आ गया ये क्या है condition? We will associate two stimuli. That is actually not a stimuli, but we will associate it with one other stimuli that become the stimuli for the person or animal. Usually that is a not stimuli for the dog. Either here visual is a not stimuli for the dog for salivating, but after the conditioning, after the associating with food, the dog becoming salivating after the conditioning with visual only. That is the classical condition. आप लोगों को एक कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ गया क्या है इसका, थ्योरी क्या है, कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है? स्टिमुलस रेस्पॉन्स को नहीं जनरेट करते, बट इफ यू एसोसिएटेड विथ अदर स्टिमुलस, देन that that stimulus initially not creating any response is also started creating the response after the conditioning. That is the classical conditioning. समझ में आ गए ये कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है क्लासिकल कंडीशनिंग? ऑल ऑफ यू समझ में आ गए?
यस सर.
हमको एक चीज और एक कॉन्सेप्ट पता नहीं हुआ तो उसका रेस्पॉन्स नहीं आ रहा है तो हम क्या करते हैं, टेम्परली और एसोसिएटेड विथ अनदर टॉपिक, देन वी विल टेल बोथ टुगेदर, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट कभी कभी टीचिंग में होता है ना, लर्निंग में आपको एक तरीके से समझ में नहीं आ रहा, कैसे भी बोले तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो वी विल एसोसिएट विथ अदर स्टिमुलस और अदर कॉन्सेप्ट, देन बोथ टुगेदर वी विल टीच. After that, even though you don't understand that thing, the major portion you will understand with initial stimulus. Even though you are not understanding with that concept or method, you will now understanding with that concept or stimulus. That is the classical condition. With this picture or image, you will understand the concept of classical condition. This is the theory of लर्निंग theory में आता है, क्योंकि कभी कभी हमको हर स्टिमुलस इज नॉट गिविंग रेस्पॉन्स, देन एसोसिएट करना पड़ता है हमको और दूसरा चीजों के साथ, देन इट इज ए conditioning. After that, this the even stimulus is neutral stimulus is also becoming the conditional stimulus. See the word neutral stimulus. Neutral matlab that stimulus is not response, not generating response, but after the conditioning, that is becoming the conditioned stimulus. That is the concept. He is a physiologist. He done the experiment. You can search in the Google. Number of pictures, images are available. How he conducted on the dog food with bell. They use the bell concept. Every time the food is bring with bell, then the dog after the removal of food also, some days if you done the belling, the dog is started salivating. That is the class condition. The dog has made association between this bell and food. उसको क्या लग रहा है, अभी बेल कर रहे विजुअल कर रहे बोले तो खाना भी आता है. दैट इज दैट मेक द एसोसिएशन दैट विल स्टार्टेड रेस्पॉन्डिंग. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ क्लासिकल कंडीशन. समझ में आ गए ये क्लासिकल कंडीशन?
यस सर.
हाँ, ओके. देन ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग थ्योरी. दिस थ्योरी क्या बताता है? द सेकेंड टाइप ऑफ कंडीशन इज ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग. Here a particular behavior is followed by a reward or punishment. Operant conditioning, it is also called as instrumental conditioning, is a method of learning that takes place with rewards and punishment for any behavior. Through this, an association is made between behavior and consequence. So what is this? Operation condition means every behavior is followed by reward or punishment. कुछ भी behavior हो उसके लिए एक reward और punishment रहता है. That is the importance of this operant conditioning theory. There is an association between behavior and a consequence. For example, we will see in the next slide with the picture you will understand. What is the operant condition? Specific consequences are associated with the voluntary behavior. In the first side, the mouse is pressing the ग्रीन बटन को दबाते हो माउस. सो दैट इज द नंबर ऑफ चॉकलेट्स और एवरी फूड पार्टिकल्स आर कमिंग टू द माउस. अगर माउस ने रेड बटन को दबाया, दैट विल लीडिंग टू द शॉक, करंट शॉक. सो विथ बिहेवियर, विथ दिस बिहेवियर देयर इज ए टू कॉन्सिक्वेंस. With this particular pressing or ये mouse ने बटन दबा रहे, with this behavior there are two consequences. Whether the mouse may get foods by pressing a green, or the mouse may get shock, current shock by pressing red one. इसका behavior के वजह से दो तरह का consequence है. One is good for that getting food, another one is for current shock. This is the operant conditioning. Every behavior should have the consequences, that is punishment and reward. अगर क्लास में बच्चा पढ़ाई करके आ गया, we will give the reward, clapping or telling good about child. We will rewarding करना है with that behavior. अगर child ने homework करके आया है, तो अगर क्लास में हमने yes good, if you appreciate, if you make a claps, that is the reward for that behavior. अगर child homework करके नहीं आया, if you punished, if you हमने बच्चे को मारा डांटा, तो क्या भी punishment दिया, that is the another one. Two consequences रहते हैं with particular behavior. That is the operant conditioning. Then child will think that or any animal or person will naturally think that अगर मैंने homework करके आया तो मुझे reward मिलता है, नहीं तो punishment मिलता है. The learning theory proposed by a psychologist. His name, I will tell, even I don't know, remember. He is a psychologist. He tell this theory, operant conditioning. अब एवरी बिहेवियर को पनिशमेंट एंड रिवार्ड के साथ आप एसोसिएट करने लगे तो द लर्निंग विल हैपन्स, उनका theory है. ये करेक्ट है नहीं, रॉन्ग है ये ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग. वी विल डू लाइक दिस ओनली इन इनिशियल डेज ऑफ स्कूल ओनली. अगर बच्चे ने होमवर्क करके आया, वी विल अच्छा बोलता है, क्लैप्स करते, देन चाइल्ड विल गेट enthusiastic and he will child will change his behavior to do homework. अगर बच्चे को पनिशमेंट दे रहे, the child will not go with that behavior. That is the operant conditioning. समझ में आ गए क्या है operant condition? Here association between behavior and consequence. Classical condition में क्या था? Association between stimuli, both two stimuli. One is actually not responding, not neutral stimuli रहता है, एक actually stimuli रहता है. When we make the association between that stimuli, the response will happen. That is classical conditioning. But here operant conditioning और में क्या होता है? Every particular behavior we have to associate it with reward or punishment. Consequence होना चाहिए. अगर आपने बच्चे होमवर्क करके आया, उनको रिवार्ड नहीं दिया, सिर्फ होमवर्क नहीं करके आने के बाद आपने पनिशमेंट दिया, ये एक सिनेरियो है. अगर बच्चे होमवर्क करके आया, एवरी टाइम अगर आप उनको रिवार्ड देने लगे एंड नहीं किया तो पनिशमेंट करने लगे, बोथ सिनेरियो. वन सिनेरियो में क्या होते हैं, आप रिवार्ड नहीं दे रहे, सिर्फ पनिशमेंट दे रहे, then child का behavior अलग होता है. If another scenario में every time if the child done the homework, you will give reward, and if child does not done homework, then you will give punishment. Then in this type of scenario the behavior will changes, because अगर मैंने होमवर्क करके गए तो मुझे क्लास में टीचर ने ये करता है, क्लैप्स डालता है, मेरे बारे में अच्छा बोलता है, ये सारे चीजें मन पे नहीं आता है बच्चों को. दैट्स व्हाई एवरी बिहेवियर इज शुड एसोसिएटेड विद द रिवार्ड्स एंड पनिशमेंट. दैट इज द कांसेप्ट ऑफ ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग. नॉट सिंपली वन वे. अगर सिर्फ होमवर्क करने वाले को, अच्छे बच्चों को रिवार्ड्स नहीं दे रहे, सिर्फ काम नहीं करने वाले को हमने पनिशमेंट देते गए, तो काम करने वाला बच्चे भी क्या होता है, क्या हमको रिकॉग्नाइज करते हैं, हमको कुछ रिवार्ड्स नहीं मिलते, क्या फायदा है, वो वैसा मन पे आता है. इसलिए एवरी behavior should have rewards and punishment. That is the concept of this operant condition. ये सारी चीजें आपका स्कूल लेवल में, हमारा स्कूल लेवल में हुआ रहते, but theory behind that we don't know, but now we are understood what in which theory, which based on which theory the teachers are doing like that, or teaching learning will happen. Now we are learning. That is the thing. समझ में आ गया सबको? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you able to see this image? Classical conditioning and operant condition में क्या डिफरेंस है? दिस स्लाइड क्या होता है क्लासिकल कंडीशन में? एसोसिएशन ऑफ इनवॉलंटरी रिस्पॉन्स एंड स्टिमुलस. फूड के साथ विजुअल को एसोसिएट किया, एंड आफ्टर द विदाउट फूड आल्सो with visual, the dog thinking about food. But in second slide operant condition में क्या होते हैं? voluntary behavior. माउस ने क्या सोचता है, अगर मैंने ग्रीन बटन दबाए तो मुझे फूड मिलता है, that is voluntary one. But here secretion of saliva is involuntary. With visual only the dog is secreting the saliva. That is the classical condition. That is association and involuntary response and the stimulus. Here operant condition में क्या होता है? association of voluntary behavior and consequence. अगर voluntary behavior मतलब स्टडी करना नहीं करना, होमवर्क करना नहीं करना, दिस इज वॉलंटरी बिहेवियर. कॉन्सिक्वेंस को याद दिलाते हैं, अगर मैंने होमवर्क करके गए तो मुझे रिवार्ड मिलता है, नहीं तो पनिशमेंट मिलता है. दैट इज द एसोसिएशन बिटवीन बिहेवियर, दैट इज वॉलंटरी बिहेवियर एंड कॉन्सिक्वेंस इन द ऑपरेंट कंडीशनिंग. इन क्लासिकल कंडीशन एसोसिएशन एंड इनवॉलंटरी रेस्पॉन्स एंड स्टिमुलाई. दैट इज before the conditioning with bell the dog is not secreting, that is involuntary. But after the conditioning, the after the making association with food and bell, The dog is responding that stimulus. That is the concept of classical conditioning. All of you able to understand this much classical conditioning and operant conditioning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubt here? These are learning theories. Learning theory कैसे हम learn करते बस उतना ही. Next, another one is cognitive theory or constructivist theory. ये theory क्या बताते हैं हमको? Cognition means an individual thoughts, understandings, knowledge of interpretation or ideas about his environment and himself. This is a process of learning through constructive and active and thought process by memory or practice. For example, क्या दिया है इधर? Teaching how to look at a time. For example, क्या है? लर्निंग नॉट ओनली इंक्लूड स्टिमुलस एंड रिस्पॉन्स. ये सिर्फ स्टिमुलस और रेस्पॉन्स का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है. स्टिमुलस और कॉन्सेप्ट का रेस्पॉन्स का बीच में कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस, कॉग्निटिव थिंकिंग विल बी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर कॉग्निशन, अंडरस्टैंडिंग, इंडिविजुअल नॉलेज, इंटरप्रिटेशन, आइडिया नहीं है तो the stimulus will not generate the proper response. Cognitive theory क्या बताता है? It is a not learning is not a simply stimulus and response. इन दोनों का बीच में cognitive process, cognitive level होता है. With this cognitive और knowledge और thinking level के वजह से हमको stimulus से response मिलता है. Stimulus और response का बीच में cognition आता है, cognitive element आता है. That is the cognitive theory. समझ में आ गए? सिंपली स्टिमुलस के बाद तुरंत नहीं रेस्पॉन्स नहीं आते. स्टिमुलस, उसके बाद कॉग्निशन वर्क करता है, उसके बाद पर्टिकुलर रेस्पॉन्स आता है. दैट इज द कॉग्निशन मींस एन इंडिविजुअल थॉट्स, अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स, नॉलेज ऑफ इंटरप्रिटेशन और आइडियाज अबाउट हिज एनवायरनमेंट एंड हिमसेल्फ. दिस इज ए प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग थ्रू कंस्ट्रक्टिव एंड एक्टिव and thought process by memory or practice. On a cognitive process may be memory or active thinking, whatever may be. Cognitive process will be there in between stimuli and response. That is the cognitive theory का उनका कहना क्या है? Cognition is important. Cognition और knowledge is intellect is important. Example, आप अगर टाइम देखना सीख रहे, so simply watch stimuli है, टाइम देखना रेस्पॉन्ड है. सिर्फ स्टिमुलस और रेस्पॉन्ड होने के लिए आपको थोड़ा थिंकिंग और कॉग्निशन चाहिए. अभी ये नंबर क्या बोलते हैं हमने टाइमिंग देखने में, ये ऐसे एंगल में है दोनों, ये तो कितना टाइम हो गया, इसके लिए थोड़ा कॉग्निशन का जरूरत है. दैट इज स्टिमुलस और रेस्पॉन्ड के बीच में हमारा कॉग्निशन प्रोसेस चाहिए. बड़ा क्या बोलते हैं, बिग वन कौन सा नंबर पे है, स्मॉलर थिंग कौन सा नंबर पे है, हाउ टू वी इंटरप्रेट द एक्चुअल टाइम, 1:15 कब बोलना है, दोनों वो क्या बोलते हैं, वर्ड नहीं आ रहे, दोनों एक ही जगह में है तो हम कैसे इंटरप्रेट करना है. इन बिटवीन स्टिमुलस एंड रेस्पॉन्स देयर इज ए कॉग्निशन. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. वेदर यू अंडरस्टूड दिस विथ दिस एग्जांपल? हमको इनिशियल डेज में देखो, पहले हम टाइम देखना सीखते हैं ना, वो टाइम पे हमको पता नहीं चलते. हम हमारा पेरेंट्स बताते हैं ये एक के ऊपर बड़ा वाला इधर है तो छोटा वाला इधर है, तो ऐसे टाइम समझना है, ऐसे बोलते हैं ना. दोनों एक ही जगह में हुआ तो कैसे इंटरप्रेट करना है. इन बिटवीन कॉग्निशन आता है, स्टिमुलस एंड रेस्पॉन्स का बीच में कॉग्निटिव आता है. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ कॉग्निटिव थ्योरी. समझ में आ गए आपको ये थ्योरी? एग्जाम्पल, learning is not simply stimulus and response. In between cognition, individual thought, understanding, knowledge, interpretation, ideas will come. That is the concept of cognitive theory. समझ में आ रहा है आपको ये एग्जांपल?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is the cognitive theory. Simply you have to remember stimulus response, not only two things that is involved in learning. The cognitive, that is cognition means thoughts, understandings, knowledge will work in between the stimulus and response. Then only the learning will happen. Stimulus response के बीच में knowledge, that is cognition होना चाहिए. That is the cognitive theory or constructive theory. That is the important. Next one is social learning theory. According to this theory क्या होता है? The social learning theory, also known as observational learning, states that an individual learns by just being told about something or observing what happens to other people. One can learn things by observing parents, models, teachers, motion pictures, peers, bosses, TV artists, etc. ये social learning theory क्या कहता है? Simply by observing, we will learn something. By observation, individual learn by just being told about something or observing. कोई ने कुछ बताया, उधर जाना नहीं है, उधर का एनवायरनमेंट अच्छा नहीं, कुछ लोग बताया, सो वी विल लर्न एज वी विल नॉट गो देयर. और ऑब्जर्विंग हाउ आवर पेरेंट्स बिहेविंग, our elders behaving, our teacher behaving, we will observe and we will learn something. For example, child will observe the environment and his surrounding peoples. According to that only the child will learn behavior, everything. So that is the child will also learn by this theory also. Child will observe his parents, how parents are behaving, like that only the child will learn. That this is the social learning theory. Some people will learn acting, mimicking, or doing like TV film stars. They will observe the film stars, they will mimic like them, or they will learn some attitudes, behaviors, or style, whatever things. So overall, by observing, we will learn something. That is social learning theory. According to this theory का intention क्या है? We will learn by observing or told something. That is the concept. It is true also, social learning theory according a lot of things we will learn by observing, just observing. टीचर कैसे रहते हैं वैसा वो रोल मॉडल होता है और उनका जैसे हम बिहेव करने लगते हैं. So that is the concept of social learning theory. Are you able to understand what is social learning theory?
Yes, sir.
Then Thorndike's law of learning. Thorndike ने laws दिया है based on certain experiments, and he made the laws, learning का laws बना है. Thorndike's का law primary secondary बोल के divide किया है, and some textbook they have given the associated laws only. Now we will see the important laws of Thorndike's law of learning. क्या है लॉज? लॉज का मतलब क्या है? इन्होंने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया और ऑब्जर्व किया, एनी टाइप ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंट, एंड दे मेड द लॉज. थ्री प्राइमरी लॉज ऑफ लर्निंग अकॉर्डिंग टू थॉर्नडिक्स क्या है? थ्री प्राइमरी लॉ ऑफ लर्निंग्स. व्हाट आर द थ्री लॉज ऑफ थॉर्नडिक्स? Law of effect. What is the law of effect? Learning is strengthened when accompanied by pleasant or satisfied feeling. सिंपल वन. क्या है आपका इफेक्ट? इफेक्ट के ऊपर होता है. और लर्निंग स्ट्रेंथन व्हेन अकम्पाइनेड बाय प्लीजेंट. आप खुशी के साथ और कुछ अच्छी चीजें के साथ, प्लीजेंटली इफ यू आर देयर, देन लर्निंग विल स्ट्रेंथनिंग. सेटिस्फेक्शन फीलिंग देना है, अच्छे तरह से लर्न करना है इन अ पॉजिटिव मैनर और प्लेजेंट मैनर, सेटिस्फाइंग फीलिंग के आप लर्न कर रहे हैं, दैट विल हैव गुड लर्निंग इफेक्ट. दैट इज द लॉ. अगर आप ऐसा कंडीशन में आपका लर्निंग में प्लेजेंट नहीं, आपको खुशी नहीं मिल रहा है, आपको सेटिस्फेक्शन का फील नहीं आ रहा है, देन यू विल नॉट लर्न. दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ इफेक्ट. इफेक्ट के हिसाब से लर्निंग का होता है. लर्निंग इज स्ट्रेंथन्ड व्हेन प्लेजेंट. आपको कुछ सीखने से आपको खुश होता है, satisfaction feel आता है, then you will learn strongly or you will learn more interestingly. That is, learning is strengthened when accompanied by pleasant and satisfied feeling. अगर उसके वो पढ़ाई करने से, वो लर्न करने से हमको प्लीजेंट नहीं लगता है, बोरिंग लगता है, इट इज नॉट दैट टाइप ऑफ इफेक्ट दे रहे, then the learning is weakened. That is the law of effect. Then law of exercise. This principle states that stimulus SR connection means stimulus and response connection is strengthened by use and weakened with disuse. इसका मतलब क्या है? एक्सरसाइज मतलब by practice. एक्सरसाइज मतलब not what we tell repeated doing of things, practice. That is law of exercise. This principle states that stimulus and response connection is strengthened. Stimulus and response connection strong होता है by use. आप बार बार repeatedly use कर रहे हैं that stimulus, then it is the stimulus and response connection strength होता है. अगर आपने use नहीं कर रहे हैं, then it is weakened. Stimulus response use नहीं, disuse मतलब आपने use नहीं कर रहे, बार बार practice नहीं कर रहे, नहीं कर रहे हैं, देन द स्टिमुलस रिस्पॉन्स कनेक्शन विल वीकन। इसका मतलब क्या है, स्टिमुलस के बाद रेस्पॉन्स होना चाहिए, तो आपको यूसेज में रखना है उसका वो प्रैक्टिस को और दैट लर्निंग को। अदरवाइज इफ यू डिसयूज दैट, द लर्निंग विल वीकन। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, बहुत दिन के बाद आप डेली अगर ड्राइविंग करते रहो तो स्टिमुलस रिस्पॉन्स कनेक्शन इज स्ट्रेंथन्ड, आपका ड्राइविंग परफेक्ट होते जाते। अगर आपने 6 महीने में एक बार, साल में एक बार, ऐसे बहुत दिन के बाद यूज में नहीं है, कंटिन्यू यूज में नहीं है, देन दैट लर्निंग इज वीकन। आपको थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा फिर से ड्राइविंग करने के लिए। दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस लॉ ऑफ एक्सरसाइज, स्ट्रेंथन्ड बाय यूज। आप यूज करते जाना है दैट लर्निंग को, देन दैट इज स्ट्रेंथन्ड। आप अगर यूज नहीं कर रहे, डिसयूज कर रहे, दैट लर्निंग विल वीकन। दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ एक्सरसाइज। The law of readiness. Individuals learn best when they are physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to learn, and they do not learn well if they see no reason for learning. इसका मतलब क्या है, लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस का मतलब, अगर आपको कुछ लर्न करना है, आप फिजिकली, मेंटली एंड इमोशनली रेडी होना चाहिए लर्न करने के लिए। कोई भी चीजें, कोई भी सब्जेक्ट, कोई भी कॉन्सेप्ट आपको फिजिकली, मेंटली, इमोशनली यू आर रेडी टू लर्न, देन द लर्निंग विल हैपन्स इन द गुड वे। अगर आपको क्यों लर्न करना है, ये चीज क्यों आपको पढ़ाना है, ऐसे मन पे आए ना, तो आपका लर्निंग नहीं हो सकते। सो नॉट ओनली फिजिकल रेडीनेस नहीं चाहिए, इस पे फिजिकली होना चाहिए। all of you should physically ready, mentally ready, emotionally ready to learn something, then only learning will happen in the efficient way. That is the concept of law of readiness. सच में अगर हमने मेंटली, फिजिकली और इमोशनली रेडी नहीं है कोई भी सब्जेक्ट और प्रोफेशन में एंटर होने के लिए, देन अगर मैंने कौन सा तो सब्जेक्ट को, अगर मैंने सर्जरी के लिए मैं ऑप्ट कर रहा हूँ, मैं फिजिकली भी रेडी हूँ, अगर 2-3 घंटे, 3-4 घंटे मैं ऑपरेशन करने के लिए, कुछ प्रोसीजर करने के लिए रेडी हूँ, मेंटली भी स्ट्रांग है, फिजिकली भी स्ट्रांग है, मेंटली मतलब क्या क्या कंसिक्वेंस होगा आफ्टर बिकमिंग सर्जन, और इवन इमोशनली मतलब सर्जन होने के बाद मुझे क्या क्या त्याग करना पड़ता है, नींद और अदर पार्टीज, अगर कुछ इमरजेंसी आए, ऐसे चीजों इमोशनली भी रेडी हो गए तो हमने लर्न स्ट्रॉन्ग करता है। सिंपली बाय कुछ तो हमको मिला है, एक कोर्स ये पीजी मिला है बोल के हमने किया, तो उतना strongly we will not. Later on you may develop physical, mental and emotional willingness, but these 3 physical, mental, emotional things should be there to learn the any concept or subject or anything. Physical, mental, emotional ready hona, emotionally ready to learn, then only the learning will happen according to this theory. They will do not learn well if they show नो रीजन फॉर लर्निंग। क्यों लर्न करना है ऐसे मन में आया तो लर्निंग नहीं होता है। दीज आर द 3 बेसिक प्राइमरी लॉज ऑफ टॉन्ड्रिक्स, लॉ ऑफ इफेक्ट, लॉ ऑफ एक्सरसाइज, लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस। समझ में आ गए? सिंपल है, वेरी सिंपल है। आपको एक बार ऐसे एक्सप्लेन किया जनरली, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड नो। समझ में आ गए लॉ ऑफ इफेक्ट, लॉ ऑफ एक्सरसाइज एंड लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस?
Yes, sir.
ओके।
Yes, sir.
देखो, लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस का प्रैक्टिकल यूटिलाइज क्या है, कोई कोई बच्चे रहते हो फिजिकली, मेंटली, इमोशनली रेडी नहीं रहते कोई कोर्स करने के लिए। फॉर एग्जांपल मेडिकल कोर्स हो, बीएमएस कोर्स हो और इंजीनियरिंग हो, कौन सा भी हो, इंजीनियरिंग नहीं जाना चाहते हैं बच्चे, लेकिन पेरेंट्स उनको फोर्सफुली इंजीनियरिंग में डालता है, देन द लर्निंग विल नॉट हैपन प्रॉपरली। दे विल नॉट लर्न। सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग खत्म करना है, खत्म कर लेते हैं, दे विल नॉट एक्चुअली लर्न वॉट एवर देयर। अगर आप फोर्सफुली विदाउट फिजिकल, मेंटल, इमोशनली रेडी नहीं है, सीखने वाला लर्नर रेडी नहीं है, द लर्निंग विल नॉट हैपन। समझ में आ गया ये कॉन्सेप्ट एक्चुअली क्या है लॉ ऑफ रेडीनेस? दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन द लॉ ऑफ लर्निंग। अगर बच्चों को फिजिकली, मेंटली, इमोशनली क्या इंटरेस्ट है, क्या करना चाहते हैं बच्चे, अगर वो हम देख के उनका अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट वी विल give the option, then the child will learn the, or student or any person will learn the that thing very efficiently. That is the law of readiness. That then additional laws क्या है Thorndike's law of primacy. Things learned first create a strong impression. What is the law of primacy? Primacy means first. Things learned first create a strong impression. मतलब पहली बार क्या लर्न करते हैं ना कोई न्यू सब्जेक्ट के बारे में, that thing are strongly impressed in your brain. That is the law of primacy. पहली बार क्या सीखते हैं ना वो आपका माइंड में स्ट्रांगली बैठ जाता है. दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी. व्हाट इज टॉट मस्ट बी राइट द फर्स्ट टाइम. अनटीचिंग रॉन्ग फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन इज हार्डर देन द टीचिंग देम राइट द फर्स्ट टाइम. इसका मतलब क्या है? अगर मैंने आपको कुछ तो आपको कॉन्सेप्ट बता दिया, पहली बार मैंने कॉन्सेप्ट क्या बताते हैं ना, वो आपका दिमाग में अच्छे तरह से बैठता है. बाद में उसका बारे में कुछ भी मैं एक्सटेंड बताऊं, कुछ अलग दे दो, लेकिन पहली बार आप सुनते हैं ना, पहली फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी क्या बोलते हैं, पहली बार आपने क्या लर्न करते हैं ना उस कॉन्सेप्ट का, वो दिमाग में अच्छी तरह से बैठता है. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी. देन नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस का क्या है? अगर मैंने फर्स्ट टाइम आपको सिखाया कुछ, वो गलत सिखाया मैंने, आपने सीख भी लिया वो कॉन्सेप्ट, बाद में थोड़ी दिन के बाद मैं क्या करता हूँ, मैं आपको क्या सिखाया वो थोड़ा गलत है, एक्चुअली कॉन्सेप्ट इज लाइक दिस. तब क्या होगा आपका माइंड पे, वो गलत चीजें आप सिखाए रहते हैं ना, उसको निकाल के what is correct thing now I am telling, you will not get easily, because वो अनलर्न करने के लिए, माइंड से निकालने के लिए आपको डिफिकल्ट होगा, क्योंकि फर्स्ट टाइम क्या स्टडी करते, क्या सुनते, क्या लर्न करते, दैट विल मेक द स्ट्रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन ऑन योर माइंड. दैट्स व्हाई द लास्ट सेंटेंस, अनटीचिंग रॉन्ग फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन इज हार्डर देन टीचिंग देम राइट द फर्स्ट टाइम. मैंने पहली बार आपको अच्छे तरह से पढ़ाना इजी होता है, कंपेयर टू unteaching the wrong first impression is harder than the teaching them right first time. समझ में आ गया ये क्या है? फर्स्ट टाइम अगर आप सिखा रहे और लर्न कर रहे, दैट मेक्स द स्ट्रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन. अगर आप गलत सिखा दिया फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन में पहली बार, देन इट विल गो टू द डिफिकल्ट टू unlearn that method and adopt the new method. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कुछ मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए आपको एक मेथड मैंने सिखाया, आप लोग वो मेथड प्रैक्टिस किया, वही मेथड से सॉल्व करते जा रहे मैथमेटिकल प्रॉब्लम को. आफ्टर लर्निंग दैट, पहली बार बताया था मैंने, आपका दिमाग में स्ट्रांगली बैठ गया. बाद थोड़ी दिन के बाद आई विल टेल दैट another method, actually this method is more suitable for this type of calculation, you have to adopt this type of method बोल के मैंने बताया. तो आपका दिमाग में हर एक बार वही मेथड याद आता रहते, आप पहली बार सिखाया हुआ. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. आपको वो मेथड छोड़ के नया मेथड सीखने के लिए डिफिकल्ट होगा. अदरवाइज मैं पहले ही ये मेथड बताए तो आपको स्ट्रांगली समझ में आता था, लेकिन पहले अलग मेथड बता के अभी वो मेथड से मत करो, ये नया मेथड ये करेक्ट है बोल के मैंने आपको सिखा रहा है ना, दैट विल मोर हार्डर देन द टीचिंग द राइट थिंग इन द फर्स्ट टाइम. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. इसका समरी ये लेना है, फर्स्ट आप क्लास में जाके बच्चों को क्या सिखाते हैं, दैट विल गिव द स्ट्रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन. अगर आप गलत सिखा दिया पहली बार, देन वो गलत चीजें निकालने के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्टी है. आप बाद में आप करेक्टिंग बता सकते, लेकिन लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी क्या कहते हैं, थिंग्स लर्नड इन द फर्स्ट क्रिएट द स्ट्रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन इन द माइंड. दैट्स व्हाई कभी भी हमने पहली बार कुछ बोल रहे, लर्न कर रहे, दैट इज शुड बी, वी शुड टेल देम कॉशियसली. अगर गलत बच्चों को पहली बार क्या बोलते हो, पहली बार का ही मानता है, ऐसा नहीं करना है बोलते, तो वो स्ट्रांगली इंप्रेशन होता है. बाद में वो ये गलत है, वो बिहेवियर से अलग बिहेवियर से लाने के लिए बहुत दिक्कत हो जाता है. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी. समझ में आ गया ये क्या है लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी?
Yes, sir.
ओके. थिंग्स मोर रिसेंटली लर्न आर बेस्ट रिमेम्बर. ये लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी क्या बोलते हैं? लॉ ऑफ प्राइमेसी के बाद लॉ ऑफ रिसेंसी, मतलब रिसेंटली आप कुछ सीख लिया और रिमेम्बर रहता है. ये तो है ना, रिसेंटली क्या किया आपने, कुछ तो नया सॉफ्टवेयर, कुछ तो नया यूज करने का सीख लिया है, आप यूज करने का सीख लिया, दैट आर मोर रिसेंटली लर्न आर बेस्ट रिमेम्बर. ये तो मेमोरी के हिसाब से जाता है, और रिसेंटली लर्न किया तो बेस्ट रिमेम्बर. दैट इज एक्सप्लेनेशन, ज्यादा एक्सप्लेनेशन का जरूरत नहीं है, सिंपली अंडरस्टैंड थिंग्स मोर रिसेंटली लर्न आर बेस्ट रिमेम्बर, वो लॉ ऑफ रिसेंसी है. देन लॉ ऑफ इंटेंसिटी, the more intense the material taught, the more likely it will be retained. A student will learn more from the real thing than from the substitute in a class. In the classroom, demonstration, skits, role playing increases the learning experiences of the student. ये एक कॉन्सेप्ट आता है आपका सिलेबस में, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन करना है, स्किट्स करवाना है, रोल प्ले करवाना है नॉन लेक्चरिंग आवर्स में, ये सारी चीजें आपको करना पड़ता है। ये है सिलेबस का पॉइंट में। सो इसका प्रिंसिपल क्या है, इधर है लॉ ऑफ इंटेंसिटी। आप कितना इंटेंसिटी से वो सब्जेक्ट को बताते, कंटेंट को उतना इंटेंसली बताते, दैट कॉन्सेप्ट विल रिटेन इन द माइंड ऑफ द स्टूडेंट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन स्किट्स करके, फॉर एग्जांपल किसी का रोल करना है, इफ यू प्ले द रोल ऑफ दैट पर्सन, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड, यू विल रिटेन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ दैट पर्सन स्ट्रांगली। राम का बारे में बोलने से आपका उनका क्या बोलते स्वभाव और उनका थॉट्स को कितना याद रखते हैं, अगर राम का रोल प्ले किया आपने स्किट में, देन यू विल रिमेम्बर द मोर। दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस लॉ ऑफ इंटेंसिटी। और कोई भी चीज आप इतना इंटेंस लेके बता रहे, देन दैट विल रिटेन इन द माइंड। मेथड अलग होगा आपका, स्किट करो, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन करो, रोल प्ले करो, और एनी अदर मेथड्स, इफ योर इंटेंसिटी ज्यादा है दैट कॉन्सेप्ट में, दैट सब्जेक्ट में, देन it will retain in the learner's mind, or you will learn very strongly. That is the concept of law of intensity. Intensity का मतलब, अगर कोई मूवी में इतना वायलेंस को इतना इंटेंसिटिवली दिखाते, अगर मूवी देखने के बाद हमको भी लगता है हमको भी ऐसे फाइट करो, ऐसे वायलेंस करो, दैट इज द इंटेंसिटी। और मूवी में इतना इंटेंसिटी वायलेंस दिखाते, दैट विल इन्फ्लुएंस द माइंड ऑफ व्यूअर्स। इसलिए सेंसर लोगों ने बोलते हैं ना, इतना इंटेंस है इस पे क्राइम का, it will influence the viewers, and that may increase the crime in this society. That's why they will give the certificate UAA. That's why, because intensity of that content is more in that film. That is the concept. अगर वही लॉ आप यूज किया स्टडी में, इंटेंसिटी यूज किया कोई भी सब्जेक्ट और मटेरियल के ऊपर, that will retain in the, or you will learn the thing from that and substitute से ज्यादा आपने रियल थिंग से ज्यादा करते, दैट मच इंटेंसिटी होना चाहिए। फॉर एग्जांपल आपको रियल कैडेवरी से आप कैसे एनाटॉमी और सीखते, वैसे डमी से नहीं सीखते, सब्स्टिट्यूट से नहीं सीखते। सब्स्टिट्यूट से भी सीखते, बट इंटेंस किस पे मिलता है, रियल कैडेवर में मिलता है आपको। अगर आपका डिसेक्शन में रियल कैडेवर यूज कर रहे हैं, देन यू फील मोर इंटेंस अबाउट ऑर्गन्स, स्ट्रक्चर्स, देन यू विल लर्न मोर स्ट्रांगली। अगर हमारे पास कैडेवर नहीं है, हम सिंपली मॉडल्स के ऊपर और चार्ट्स लेके कुछ तो नया टेक्नोलॉजी के हिसाब से हमने कर ले, दैट मच इंटेंसिटी नहीं आते है वो एनाटॉमी सीखने के लिए। सच पे बॉडी में क्या इंटेंस आता है एनाटॉमी सीखने के लिए, वो सब्स्टिट्यूट, डमी, अदर थिंग से नहीं आते। दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट, दैट इज द इंटेंसिटी को आप कैसे बढ़ाते, वो आपका ऊपर है। रियल थिंग्स को देख के इंटेंसिटी बढ़ाते हैं, और डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन करते, स्किट्स करते, प्ले करते, नंबर ऑफ मेथड्स, बट इंटेंसिटी होना चाहिए मोर इंटेंस, लर्निंग दैट थिंग्स विल बी मोर इंटेंस। दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ लॉ ऑफ इंटेंसिटी। क्यों मैं इतना एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा हूँ बोले तो, आपको कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में होना चाहिए। बेस्ड ऑन दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ओनली दे विल आस्क क्वेश्चन। आपको इंटेंसिटी का बारे में अगर पता याद होना चाहिए, सिंपली बाय will not work in this concept. Understanding will work. So that's why I'm giving more example and extra explanation इसलिए दे रहा हूँ, आपको याद रहना। कोई ना कोई तरीके से, कोई ना कोई एक्सप्लेनेशन और एग्जाम्पल से आपको ये कॉन्सेप्ट याद रहना चाहिए। किसी को कोई एग्जाम्पल से ये कॉन्सेप्ट याद आते हैं, कोई बार बार बोलने से आपको क्लियर हो जाते हैं। दैट इज द मेन माई इंटेंशन टू बार बार रिपीट करता हूं मैं, इसलिए मतलब आपको कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर होना चाहिए। आपको बोर तो नहीं होता ना बार बार बोलने का वजह से हो। हेलो हेलो,
नो सर।
सम लर्नर्स विल लर्न वन टाइम ओनली। मैं पहली बार बताए तो सबको, किसी को समझ में आते हैं, किसी को थोड़ी देर के बाद समझ में आते, किसी को मैं बार बार बोलने से समझ में आते। दैट्स व्हाई आई एम कीप ऑन रिपीटिंग द थिंग्स टू क्लियर द कॉन्सेप्ट। दैट इज द why I am repeating a lot of times. Then law of freedom, this principle क्या बताते हैं, law of freedom और principle। अगर फ्रीली लर्न और बेस्ट लर्न, अगर थोड़ा फ्री भी चाहिए लर्निंग में, अगर बहुत स्ट्रिक्ट और बहुत कंपैक्टेड एनवायरनमेंट में और बहुत रेस्ट्रिक्टेड वे से आप लर्न करने लगे, तो the things are not learned. थोड़ा फ्रीनेस एंजॉयमेंट इन द क्लासरूम होना चाहिए. दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ फ्रीडम. फ्रीडम को आप ऐसा नहीं ले सकते. फ्रीडम वर्ड का मीनिंग कैसे भी करता है वैसा नहीं है. थोड़ा रिलैक्सेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ फ्रीडम चाहिए बच्चों को. दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट. लॉ ऑफ फ्रीडम का मतलब है थिंग्स फ्रीली हम क्या सिखाते, क्या लर्न करते विदाउट हेक्टिक और ज्यादा कंस्ट्रिक्ट से सिखाने से. फ्रीली इफ यू आर without tension, if you are learning freely, if you are learning, the greater the freedom enjoyed by the student in the class, the greater the intellectual and moral advancement enjoyed by the. This concept tells like that. freedom का मतलब आप अलग अलग मीनिंग नहीं लगा सकते. In the sense that freely they will learn in that environment. That type of learning or teaching should be happen. The freely the student will learn, not restricted, not very constricted manner. You should not in that type of environment you will not learn. Some type of free or enjoyment freedom चाहिए, तभी बच्चे ठीक से learn करते हैं. That is the law of freedom. Whether I will continue or stop, it is 9 o'clock. Hello. It is already 9 o'clock. I will stop here only. Now, from next class, we will start law of multiple response, law of set of attitude. From this onwards, we will learn. You have to remember law of freedom. Until this, we have covered in this class. In next class, we will finish this characteristic of learning, and we will I will go the further context. All of you. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
9 o'clock. It is time bonding. All of you have some work or other commitments, so I will stop here. Please go to the recordings and materials. Please revise. Then only you will understand. Simply without reading previous classes or concept, you may get confused. Simply one way teaching is not good. It is both the way. You should actively interact and do the works what we tell. इट इज फॉर योर एक्सरसाइज ओनली. अगर यूजर मैनुअल देखो बोले तो आपके लिए बताया, आपको पता चल रहा है इसलिए. सो do whatever assignments or whatever things we will tell, that will help you for understanding this concept practically only. That's why we are telling the do such activities. So now I am ending the session. You may leave the session now. I will stop the recording.
Okay, sir.